Okay, so this is going to be the first stream for Clickteam Firefly tutorials. I'm using BSP for the mapping, so the first tutorial is going to be all about GTKRadiant. It's the mapping tool they use for Quake 3 and Quake Live. And it is pretty simple. So I find it the most intuitive. I don't really like the built-in editor for Firefly. So we'll start with this. So first with GTKRadiant, you're going to need to import your textures. And I think they have to be in JPEG form. Maybe they might be able to use TIFF. I'm not sure, but I'm using JPEGs. And for all my textures, I got all of these off of textures.com. So if you sign up there, it's completely free, and you can download not like the highest quality, but like medium quality. You can download maybe 6 or 7 textures a day. You get a certain amount of points a day that you can spend on downloads. So I got all these. You just get a few a day. They're all pretty good. All right. So first, for the Firefly folder, it matters how you set this up. So for my Clickteam Fusion file is in here, and then you want a textures folder that's in the same folder. So you want textures, and then whatever textures you want. Mine, I just have the Firefly one with all my textures I'm using. And then from there, in GTKRadiant, you want to go to textures and load directory. And we'll wait for this to come up because my computer's a piece of crap. And then from here, you just want to load your textures directory from here, so it'll show up on the list. Mine, I have it in my Firefly folder, but I also have it in my Quake Live folder because that's what I originally used this program for, because I used to make maps for Quake 3 and Quake Live along with Counter-Strike, and I started in like Quake 2 or whatever. And it's probably a good idea to download Quake Live off of Steam. I think it's free still, and I'll tell you why. Well, I'll tell you why now. The sky texture here, the ones that come with Quake Live all have different properties. So I'll just load up my sky textures here. These are all the ones from Quake Live. We want to go to skies. So all these have different properties, like lighting properties. So the dark ones are going to be dark. They're not going to emit any light. And the one I'm using is right here called, I think it's Strato. And it emits quite a bit of light, but some of these are like way too bright, some of them way too dark. So you might want to play with them a little bit to see which ones you like. I'll load my Firefly directory back up. Okay. So this, well, I guess to explain the sky texture, this isn't the sky texture that you're going to see. It's just used for the light. Because all these, you can do all the lighting in GTKRadiant for Firefly right in this program, so you don't have to do it in Firefly, because when you compile the map, it'll compile all the lighting and everything for you. All right. So let's get started with just something basic. This is just going to be like a basic tutorial for how to do simple things. So start out, all you have to do to make just a cube is click and drag, and that's it. And that's going to make just a flat square here. And to change the sizes, all you have to do is click just outside the box, not too far. I mean, you can, it is quite a bit. Okay, never mind. You can just click anywhere, apparently. Anyways, you can just click outside and drag, and it's going to change size. Now you can set up all 3 different views, or all 4 different views, because there's a 3D view on the same screen here. But the way I do it, I just keep one screen, and then I can change the views from the XYZ button right up here. So you can change it. It's going to switch to the Y view. And again, another in there. So if you want to make a box, click outside. You can see it on the 3D. The controls are the arrow buttons here to move forward, backwards, turn left, turn right. Now to go up and down is D is up, C is down, and A is look up, and Z is look down. Just as simple as that. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to move this up so it's just touching the sand there. And what else? Just click on it to move it. Right click to move the map itself, not just in the view. And that's all for now. So let's just make, let's see here. Just a second. Okay. Let's add some textures to it. So what I'm going to do here is I'll probably make a building similar to this one over here in the 3D view. Just the same texture scheme and everything. So we want to place that box up against the wall there. And you can also do things in the 3D view like this. I just prefer to do it here. So let's make the wall a bit thinner here. How thin are the walls over here? Try to keep it consistent. Can't even tell. 4. Okay. So there. Now you can change the grid size with the square bracket keys. I just keep it on default for the most part. I just change it when I need to and then change it back to this. All right, so let's pick a texture here. So to select different, I'm just gonna hit escape to unselect that. To select your walls and stuff, just hold shift, click, just like that. If you want to select just one side of the box, say if I want to just change the texture on this side of this pillar, you hold shift and control at the same time and click that. And you can do that with multiple, and then just click the texture and it'll change. So let's go back to this. Where is it here? Okay. So I'm going to want to use the same texture as the other building here. If I can find it. There's, okay, there. Oh, I should select it first and do that. Now you notice that this texture is smaller than the one over here. For that, we're going to want to select it and hit S for the surface inspector. Now here you can change the rotation of it and the scale of the texture and shift it if you want. So we want the scale up. 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Oops. Exit out of that right now. I'm going to double check what this is. S. So it is 0.8. And what's the bottom part here? Okay. All right, I'm going to move that back. It is 0.8, but I'm going to move this up so I can put this part in on the bottom. Now you don't have to create a new block. I'm just going to select this and hit spacebar and it'll copy it. Just drag the new one over. I'll throw that right in there. And I'm going to line that up. There. Okay. I'm going to push it back a little bit. Maybe like that. And I'm going to kind of pull this out a bit and actually I'm going to drag this back. Drag that to there. And then that, connect that. Because I don't want this side sticking out because I'm going to block that off with the wall. All right. Oh, I'm right clicking on the 3D view. Can turns the mouse look on. All right. Anyways. Now, another thing you're going to want to need is, all right, let's say you want a window. You can create the window like so. And if you want, let's see right there, okay. But let's say you want it like these over here. The angled. All you need to do is click this clipper button up here. That or X is the clipper. And you're always going to want to go from right to left. So let's see here. Let's start from down here. So it would be right to left for, say if you want to clip off the top and leave the bottom, start right to left here, here, and then hit enter. And it'll clip off that. Right to left here. Clip that. And then let's do this, and this, and this, and that. It's that easy. So we're going to hit X to turn the clipper off. And we want to hollow out this area of the wall. So all it is the subtract button up here. And it'll hollow at that, and then we can hit backspace. Backspace is delete, and it makes the window. And then we can hold Shift and Control, select all the sides here if we want to change the texture, and we'll change it to change it to this right here. Okay. Now, to add lighting to the indoor area. So if it's outdoor and you have a bright sky, it's going to light pretty well. Just select something over here. What am I doing? Delete that. I hope that wasn't important. All right. To create a light, all I have to do is right click, light, and what is the button here? It's not the surface inspector. Let's see here. Completely forget what the button is for the light. Oops. Okay. Light. Oh, never mind. It's nothing. Came up on the other screen. All right. So when you create a light, this is going to come up, and it's going to ask you to set the value for how bright it is. So just fool around with that, see what it's like. I'm just going to hit 60. This isn't going to bring it. And it's going to show you the radius too. So the full radius is this here. And then like semi-bright and really bright down here. All right. And then you can just move that around anywheres. And that will compile when you make the map, when you make the BSB. All right, a couple more things you might want to know. Let's do like cylinders and cones and stuff like that, so it's not all, you know, squares and flat edges. Let's do this just to show you. I'm gonna make concrete or something. All it is the curve, cylinder, cylinder. That's it. You can do cones, but I'm going to change it back to a cylinder for this. Now you notice when you do this, when you put a cylinder, it doesn't make the top, it's clear. So you'll be able to fall right through that. So just select it, go to curve, and put, oh, never mind, not that. Undo, forget that. You're going to want to put, where is it? Cap selection. Why is that stretched out like that? I'm going to delete that. Delete that, okay. That's weird. I don't know why that's happening. So but that is how you do it. I wonder if something else is selected somewhere. All right, anyways. That's how you make cylinders and stuff. You can also do, say if you didn't want it kind of like jagged like that. Let's do, subtract that. Okay. All right, let's go to curve. Is it end cap? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna flip this around a bit. All the rotating controls are up here. And, oh, wrong one for that. It's Z. ZN, yeah. Just fiddle around with those. Put that up there. And let's see if this works. Oh, there we go. Actually came up. Cap selection. Inverted end cap. Okay. And it'll fill in all the gaps there. All right, what else? When you first load up GTKRadiant, this button here might be selected. It's kind of like a draw distance. Oh, not that button, this button here. Cubic clip, the camera view. So when you first load it up, just click off that. It'll turn off the draw distance. This button here, that's the 3D view. You can change it from wireframe, flat shade, all the nearest map, linear, bilinear, map, and trilinear. Just keep it on trilinear. Subtract, we already did that. Merge, you can merge things into one polygon or whatever. Hollow overlap, that is, let's make a box here. If you want to hollow it, you can do hollow overlap, but that means the blocks here in the corners and stuff will be overlapped. You can't see them from the inside, but on the outside, when you run it, you can kind of see the two textures kind of like together, and it looks really weird. But then you can also do the hollow touch, so that get rid of all the corners there. Oops. Me, I just make things myself. Instead of using that, I'll just make all the walls. That, just hit space, space again. I don't like overlapping anything, any of the polygons or anything. All right, that's it for the simple stuff. This is, say if you want to select just this wall here, I can make a box around the whole thing. and I can select only what's inside for that. Partial, select partial, tall, select touching, complete tall. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all the basic stuff. Now when you compile the map, you want to go to BSP. And what I use is this one down here. So this is going to give you all the best lighting and everything for the map. It's going to take the longest to compile. So this is the Quake Live lighting final. And it has, you know, dirt depth, dirt scale, patch shadows, you know. And all these ones are just simpler versions. So there'll be a lot worse lighting. But if your game's that style, then, you know, try out a few of them, see how they look. I'm not going to compile it right now because it'll probably take me, I don't know, 9 hours to compile what I have here. All right. So after that, after you compile the BSP, you'll want to put it in your Firefly folder or the game folder that you have. So I have mine right here. And you're going to want to make a PK3 file. Now the PK3 file, all you need to do is make a zip file. It has to be zip. It will not work if it's a RAR. So I'll change that. Wait for this to open. Okay. So zip file. I have my map in here too. I don't think you need it. I just keep it there. So I make a folder called maps, make a folder called textures, and then Firefly. It's going to have to be the same path that it is in your folder here. And then you want to put all your textures in the PK3 file or the zip file. And then once you're done, all you have to do is change the .zip to .pk3. And then go into Fusion. All right. So in Fusion, to load everything in, you're going to need Firefly engine, and just to load the map in, you'll want a camera node. And a static mesh. Or do you even need that? I don't even know. Anyways, put in the Firefly engine, camera node, and then we'll go here. Start a frame. You're going to want to, I'll just redo this. Yeah, you're going to need the static mesh. Camera, I have the set position to you can use the coordinates. I think it uses the coordinates in here. So the coordinates are on the sides here. All right, let's go back in. So start a frame under Firefly engine. You're going to want to load resource package. And this is going to be everything for your map in the resource package, which is the PK3 that you made. So we're going to want to open that. No password. And then under the static mesh, start a frame, load an octotree or octtree static mesh. And you're going to want to load the Firefly BSP. And that's all you have to do to load it in. All the lighting is done in Radiant when you compile it. And all this stuff is for movement, which I'll go over in another tutorial, plus the bunny hopping here. So we'll run what this looks like. computer's a piece of crap. Now this is before I made all that, my last version of the map that I compiled. So it'll have everything but that wall and the sand and everything there in that area. Alright, it's not even going out of... Okay. Well, it's loaded in the background. Alright, let's go to this. There. Alright. So as you can see, the lighting's not too bad. And this is all done. I don't have any lights here. This is all done by the sky. I do have some lights in here though. And I seem to be very short, which I can change. But it's pretty decent and it runs pretty smooth. It's a little clunky, stick to things. I'll get into that in another tutorial though. So as you can see, I'm not a 3D modeler in the slightest, and I can make something like this, and it's not very hard. I wish the in-engine editor for Firefly was a lot more intuitive, because I'd rather use that, but you know, I can't really make something like this. If I wanted to, it'd probably take me, you know, weeks and weeks and weeks to do something like this. But with this, it's just like a few hours. It's not hard at all. So that's the, you know, first tutorial just with Radiant and how to put it into Firefly. Next time I'll probably start with the FPS movement and bunny hopping. Also have a zoom, which, you know, I'll right click and does that, but I don't have an actual end to it, so I'm gonna fix that. So I guess that's it. Maybe in a couple days I'll do the next stream. But until then, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, just post a comment, or yeah, just post a comment and I'll see what I can do. All right. See you next time.